is that? Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's video, which may be of interest to all those who enjoy spicy food and those of you who do their very best to avoid it. That is the Scoville scale. Named after Wilbur L. Scoville, the Scoville scale is measured in Scoville heat units, SHU, and is the measurement of the hotness, potency or pungency of chili peppers and anything that's derived from the chili pepper with relation to capsicum. We're thinking hot sauce here. It measures the concentration of capsaicin, which is the chemical compound found in chili peppers that gives their famous heat sensation. The taste and heat of a chili pepper is directly affected by capsaicin and other similar compounds called capsaicinoids that occur naturally within the chili, which is a fruit, by the way. And with the Scoville scale, we're able to quantify the heat of a chili into a measurable format where you can compare it against other chili peppers that you're more familiar with. It's worth noting, taste sensation and preference differs from person to person, so next time you ask, how spicy is that, and someone responds, oh, not that spicy at all, you may still be in for a nasty shock. The original test, known as the Scoville organoleptic test, first developed in 1912, was based on sensory information by tasters. More scientific means of testing capsaicin concentrations, such as high-pressure liquid chromatography, or HPLC, are used in modern times to give us more accurate information. The scale itself is a measurement of the dilution required for the heat of capsaicin to be undetectable. For example, a bell pepper contains no capsaicin, so therefore it's at the bottom of the scale at 0, whereas a jalapeno sits at 5,000 SHUs, then the capsaicin extract would have to be diluted 5,000 times before the heat became undetectable. Now, you may notice I said if a jalapeno sits, with the operative word being if. That's because one of the biggest flaws to the Scoville scale is simply human taste preferencing. This means that nearly every scale is different, although similar, in how it determines the heat of a pepper. So if we look at one Scoville scale, then the serrano pepper can sit at 6,000 to 23,000 SHU, but on another it can be fixed at 23,000 SHU, and on another it's 10,000 to 30,000 SHU, so really quite a difference. This isn't so much of a problem as most of us are familiar with many sorts of peppers and their heat. So if, for example, I had a chipotle pepper, which sits at between 8 and 10,000 SHU, and I think it's probably a bit too spicy, then I see on a menu that has Scotch bonnets on them, and Scotch bonnets sit at roughly 350,000, then you can bet your ass I can figure out what's going to be too much for me. Although this is context specific, as it may or may not include times when you don't know what's good for yourself, like when your friends order the hottest thing on the menu for no other reason than to show off. So what are some of the mildest peppers? Well, there is the sweet bell pepper, the pimento pepper, the Cubanelle pepper, the New Mexico pepper, and the Anaheim pepper, to name but a few, and they all sit at roughly 2,500 SHU. Now, for you adrenaline junkies, let's talk about the killers. We've got the Infinity chili, the Naga Dorset pepper, the New Mexico scorpion, and the Carolina reaper, which I all feel have very suitable names as they're commonly over 1 million SHU. As mentioned previously, the scale also includes direct extracts of capsaicin, some at around 1 million SHU, as well as pure capsaicin, which is a whopping 16 million SHU. And also items containing the extract, which aren't limited to just foodstuffs. For example, some police-issued pepper spray sits on the Scoville scale at 5,300,000 SHU. However, what usually sits at the top of all Scoville scales is a chemical compound from a cactus-like plant in Morocco called Reneziferin toxin, which, in its pure form, has a whopping rating of, well, check this number out, in SHU. Unsurprisingly, when coming into contact with the skin, it causes chemical burns and is generally very toxic overall, probably not the best choice to sprinkle on top of your cheese on toast. Capsicum is also used in medical items such as topical treatments and also other areas, as capsicum oil has been used to combat pathogenic bacteria in animal feedstuffs, as an example. So, the big question, can spicy peppers hurt you? Well, of course they can. Pepper spray, my friends, if they can weaponize it, then it can hurt you. In short, consuming enough of an extremely hot chili can kill you. Yes, I repeat, it can kill you. According to a study carried out in 1980, it was calculated that consuming 3 pounds of something such as a ghost chili in powder form could kill a 150-pound person. Of course, this would have to be in one sitting, so put down the calculator if you're worrying about your annual ghost chili consumption. It's worth noting that this experiment did not involve force-feeding people chilies until one croaked. No, the reality is that the human body is geared up to protect from overconsumption. Capsicum is a neurotoxic. It's toxic, and the body fights toxins in weird and wonderful ways. In order to excrete capsicum as quickly as possible, a number of physiological responses take place. See how many of these symptoms you recognise. Runny nose, excess saliva production, profuse sweating, increase in body temperature, increase in mucus production in the digestive tract. Granted, you probably won't be overly aware of that one, although you will be aware of the intestinal contractions which can result in diarrhoea and vomiting, you poor lambs. If you would like more in-depth detail on the biochemical processes behind these symptoms, let us know in the comments and I'll happily go into the hardcore geek stuff for you. Some of you will stumble across videos whilst whiling away the wee hours in the morning on YouTube of people eating extremely hot chilies. These people cry, jump around, shake, faint, and even have fits or hallucinations. And of course the people filming have a good chuckle and share it with the rest of us. Truthfully, a real friend does not let another friend consume very hot chilies. A competition in Edinburgh in 2014 to eat the Kismet killer curry saw multiple ambulances called as the Red Cross workers overseeing the event became overwhelmed with the amount of competitors collapsing in agony after a couple of mouthfuls. Needless to say, half of the people who had initially signed up to the event dropped out after witnessing the first round. I'm not sure if a free t-shirt or a mugshot on the wall or whatever the prize was would be worth it for me either, and I'm a competitive type of girl who likes things very spicy. So, to summarise, the Scoville scale acts as a guide, with 0 being safe, and any number that looks really big, well, it will make your eyes water. And on that note, I'm off to meet Whit for a korma. Peace out, fans.